Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Preeti Khulbe and today we are discussing about regulatory requirement for drug products. This is the eighth lecture of the series of regulatory affairs and regulatory requirement, which is there in the third unit of your syllabus in industrial pharmacy 2. Okay, so we have discussed that about the regulatory regulatory affair department, what is the need of regulatory affair department, what is the role and responsibility of regulatory department. We have also discussed about the regulatory agencies of different countries, like for US FDA is there, for the for Japan there is different regulatory agency, for Australia there is TGA, for different countries like we have discussed about the UK, that is MHRA. So we have discussed about different countries which are related to the different regulatory agencies. So if you want that details, so you can visit my previous videos. So now we are starting with the this topic. First one is the learning object. So learning object is upon completion of this topic, the student should be able to know about the various considerations of regulatory affairs. First of all, that students will always, know after the completion of this aware that what is regulatory affair, that we have discussed in our previous things, that previous videos, that regulatory affair is an essential department for each and every company, be it a small scale or a large scale. But in practical in India, the small scale companies, in small scale basically manufacturing companies, do not have the regulatory affair department, but they just depends upon their all the regulatory affair related things to their quality assurance department. So basically they merge two departments, that is DRA as well as, or RA department, as well as the QA department. In general, there should be one RA department, because if you have the RA department, so you have lots of benefits. This RA department is very essential for the for the new product development, also for the companies which are having the R&D or FND departments, because this the role and responsibility of this regulatory affair department is majorly at the stage of marketing of the new drug. Otherwise, if we talk about the role and responsibility, so its role starts from the beginning, or starts from the purchase of the raw material, and ends to the pharmacovigilance, that is after the post marketing survey. Okay, so similarly, after the completion of this unit, you will also be able to learn about the legal issues which are related to the regulatory bodies. So what are these legal issues, how we can how we can conduct this regulatory affair visits, how we can get the marketing approval from the other department. So these type of little things are there, which you will came to know after the completion of this unit. Other than that, you will also came to know about general consideration related to INDA and NDA. So if we talk about the INDA, so INDA stands for Investigational New Drug Application. So this investigational new drug application is application, or is a document which has to be submitted to the regulatory body. Okay, so when to submit, how to submit, what are the documents inside the INDA is there. So all these things you will came to know after the completion of this unit. Similarly, you will also came to know about NDA. So if we talk about the NDA, so NDA has again the same, that is new drug. NDA stand for the new drug application. So this new drug application is related to the when you want to do some clinical trials, and you have to take the approval for the for the same with the regulatory agency of that country. So what are the documents which should include in the NDA? This will also you will came to know after the completion of this unit, when to file NDA and when to file INGA. So all these things, what is the difference between INGA, ANDA, NDA, that is investigational new drug application, abbreviated new drug application, and new drug application. So what is the differences between these three? They will also be able to learn related to this in the in this unit. Now the learning outcome. So on successful completion of this unit, the students will be able to know about the roles and responsibilities of the regulatory affair department. Other than that, they will also know about the responsibility of regulatory affair department and all about the regulatory bodies they will came to know after the completion of this unit. So if we talk about the role and responsibility, so we have already discussed that its role starts from the beginning and it ends after the post marketing, we can say. So the role of regulatory affair department is very important, and the basic role is to guide or to take advice, to give the advice to the related to the product to the manufacturer, as well as to give the statutory requirement advice as well as the technical advice. Both the advices are given to the department, to the manufacturing companies. Similarly, the responsibility of regulatory affairs are also there. Like this other responsibility includes the major responsibility is major responsibility is like the marketing approval, as well as the minor responsibility or other responsibilities include the say to control the safety and efficacy of the this particular particular product. We have already discussed about the different regulatory bodies of different countries also. Okay, now come to the next topic. That is the today's topic is related to the the new drug approval in is of two phases. Okay, so we will discuss in this about the new drug approval process. So when we talk about new drug approval, so that means the drug which is the novel drug and we are forming it into the first time. So what type of phases are there, or how we can approve, how we can take the approval of that new drug? This will come under the new drug approval thing. Okay, so the new drug approval is of two-phase process. Okay, so it has two phases. The first phase for the clinical trial and the second phase is for the marketing authorization of drug. Okay, so before starting to this, we need to understand about the Okay, so before understanding this new drug approval process, we need to understand that how the processes happen. So start from the start, we just have to, if we are preparing a new drug, so for after the, preparation of that drug product, for example, we are making certain tablet of new drug. So we have to first prepare the this particular formulation, and then we have to do the preclinical trial first. So after the and for this preclinical trial, we have to take approval from the regulatory authority. We have to send the documents to the regulatory department and they will approve it. Then we can do the preclinical trial. After the successful results of preclinical trial, that is, if we are getting the successful good results from the preclinical trial, then we'll go for the clinical trial. Okay, so now this clinical trial, after the we have to send the preclinical data report to the regulatory body, and on the basis of that result they will give approval for the clinical trial. After the conduction of clinical trial, again the documents have to be sent to the regulatory department which are related to the preclinical as well as clinical trial as well as the whole manufacturing documents. has to be sent to the regulatory department, and then on the basis of the qualitative test, quantitative test, preclinical test, and clinical test, they will send you the result, or they will send you they will approve or disapprove your application for the marketing authorization. Okay, so if the data are good, so results are good of clinical trial as well as preclinical trial, the results are good, you have performed all the quantitative as well as qualitative tests. So on the basis of that, the regulatory body will the regulatory body will approve your product for the marketing. Okay, so now the if we talk about the thing marketing authorization, so all these things, that is the taking approval for the preclinical trial, taking approval for the clinical trial, taking approval for the marketing authorization. So all these things require documentation, and all these documents have to be properly prepared, and it should have the full and complete information. If the complete information is not there, then what will happen? If the complete information is not there, then you have to your application may delay or may rejected by the regulatory authority. Okay, so that means it is very essential that this clinical trial, this the documents which we are sending to the regulatory body should be complete and well prepared. Okay, so for this only, this is the work of DRA, that is Drug Regulatory Affairs, or we can say the RA department. That's why each and every company should have the RA department, because if RA department is not there, then somebody else will do all these work and they are not as expert on that work. So this may delay or leads to the unapproval of your marketing authorization of drug. So that means if you have a good RA department, so they will prepare the documentation, they will guide you in time to time related to the statutory guidelines as well as the technical technical guidelines, and accordingly they will prepare the documentation with the step by step, and they will send it to the market regulatory authority. And it is if the RA department is doing so, so it is very easy to get the marketing approval or get the approval for the preclinical or clinical trial from the regulatory body. Okay, this thing is that. Other thing is that if the you will get, the second is important role here of the RA department is there, that in which country you want to do the clinical trial, and in which country you are doing the marketing of your product, you want to market your product. So all these things keep in your mind while you are preparing the documentation, because as we have discussed that each and every country has different marketing, different regulatory authority, and they have almost similar but not exact similar guidelines for the marketing approval. So that means if you want to market your product in Australia, so you have to prepare your document as per the TGA, that is TGA के according आपको करने पड़ेंगे, otherwise they will not, because the TGA is the regulatory authority of Australia. Okay, and if you want to market your product in the UK market, so you have to prepare the complete documentation as per the MHRA, because the UK market, UK is having the regulatory authority of MHRA. They will give you the approval for the marketing requirement. Okay, clear. Now the firstly, so this is that, and all these things, that what is there in the MHRA, is there any changes in the MHRA? Okay, ठीक है, before that there may be, like आपने previously apply किया था, आपने 5-6 year back, so there may be a different guidelines, and right now today's time there is maybe a different guideline. So you have to prepare the documentation as per the current guideline of that particular country, and all these things will be prepared by the RA department. RA department will be in continuous touch in the changes in the guidelines, and they will watch all the changes in the guidelines of any of the country's regulatory body, etc. Right. So this is about the journal thing. So here we can say that in new drug approval process, there are two phases. First phase is the clinical trial. Second phase is for the marketing authorization. Okay, so firstly, non-clinical studies of the drugs are completed to ensure the safety and efficacy, and then application for the conduct of clinical trial is submitted to the competent authority for the concerned country. Okay, so as we have discussed before this first phase, there is a, you know, this first phase we have said that clinical trial is the first phase. So before that, there is a non-clinical studies, which we can say the preclinical studies also covers in non-clinical studies. So all these, on the basis of all these things, if we'll get the proper approval from the that non-clinical studies, and you will ensure that the drug product which you are forming is safe and effective for the public, then you will go for the clinical trial after the submission of all the documents of non-clinical studies to the competent authority of that particular concerned country. Okay, whichever is country, either it is India, either it is US, koi bhi country hai. Okay, so thereafter the clinical trials can be conducted phase 1 to phase 4. Okay, so here after the approval of the clinical trial from the regulatory agency or regulatory authority of that particular concerned country, you can approve the clinical trial. And you know that there are four phases of clinical trial. If you don't know, then there are four phases of clinical trial: clinical trial phase 1, clinical trial phase 2, clinical trial phase 3, and clinical trial phase 4. Okay, so clinical trial phase 4 is basically the marketing, we can say pharmacovigilance phase or post marketing phase. So firstly you have to do the only the phase 4, phase 3, that is phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3. You have to conduct in phase 1. We just take the healthy human beings and we conduct the trials. We came to know about the journal ADME related to this. After that, in phase 2, we'll get you have we'll introduce the patients of that particular disease to the clinical trial, and at the last the number of patients will increase. Okay, so phase 3 phases will do, and phase 4 will do after the marketing authorization. Okay, so these studies are performed to ensure the efficacy, safety, and optimize the dose of drug in human beings. Okay, because this is a clinical trial, and before that we just have done the preclinical studies, so we can say that there is no optimization of formulation for the human being in the preclinical studies is there. Okay, so because we are giving the drug into the patient for the first time, okay, that is what the clinical trial, right? So that means in clinical trial we have, along with the checking the ensuring the safety and efficacy, will also optimize the dose of the drug in the human beings. Okay, so after the completion of clinical studies of the drug, then an application to the competent authority of the concerned country for the approval of drug for marketing is submitted. The competent authority review the application and approval of the drug for the marketing only. If the drug is found to be safe and effective in human beings, or the drug have more desirable effects as compared to the adverse effects, so it may approved by the regulatory authority. Okay, so if the when the clinical studies are done, three phase of clinical studies are done, then the RA department of that particular country, that particular company will send the application along with the dossier to the marketing to that particular country's regulatory authority for the approval of the drug for the marketing. Okay, so if then the authority will do the detailed review of the application, and approve or disapprove the drug for the marketing as per the results they will get. Okay, so if the drug is found safe and effective in the human beings, so and it has no desirable effects as compared to the adverse effects, so it will get the marketing approval, right? Even after the approval of new drug, government should monitor its safety due to appearance of some side effects. Okay, so as we know that every drug has some side effects, and some side effects are we can say that some side effects of new drug are seen after the drug when a drug reaches to the market, because in clinical trial we just take the number of limited number of persons, okay, or patients. But when there is the drug in the market, then there are thousand or lakhs of people are exposed to that particular drug. So obviously there may be, because in every human being is different, in every human being there is a certain kind of dissimilarities there, so variation is there. So maybe in one person it is safe, but maybe in one person it is unsafe, or it may give any side effects. So when it is used in the large population, it may appear some side effects after the approval also. So the interactions with the other drugs which were not accessed in the pre-marketing research trials, and its adverse effects may be seen after the after the marketing of that drug. Okay, so even after the approval also, government has to monitor the safety and efficacy of the drug. Okay, so that is what known as the phase 4, that is the post marketing surveillance, or we can say pharmacovigilance. So in phase 4 clinical trial, we just monitor the drug after it reaches to the market. So now regulatory organization in countries. So this, so we have already discussed that US FDA is there, which is the Food and Drug Administration, which is a regulatory organization of US. Similarly, CDSCO is there, which is the India's regulatory body, that is Central Drug Standard Control Organization, and the head of CDSCO is DCGI, that is Drug Controller General of India. Okay. Similarly, EMEA is there, that is EMEA is for the European Union, that is the full form is European Agency for the Evaluation of Medicinal Products. Next is MOH, that is Medicine of Health. This is for the Sri Lanka. Then DDA is the Department of Drug Administration. This is for the Nepal. So Nepal regulatory body is DDA, that is the Department of Drug this Administration. Now, the major market, is covered by the USA. So, drug approval process in USA. So, how we can approve our drug in the USA for the USA market? It is given here. So, in 1920, the new era of USA drug regulations was started with the establishment of US Pharmacopoeia. Okay, so US pharmacopoeia is established, and then it is the new area of US regulations started in 1820. In 1906, Congress passed the original Food and Drug Act, which requires that the drug must meet the official standards of strength and purity. However, in 1937 also, due to sulfanilamide tragedy, the Federal Food, Drug and Cosmetic Act of 1938 was enacted and added new provisions that new drug must be shown safe before marketing. Okay, so there are many tragedies are there in the past, But the history we can see, if we see the history in that, sulfanilamide tragedy is very famous. So in this, after this tragedy, the FFDC, started in 1938. He have started one initiative that all the new product, all the new drugs must shown the safe and effective before the marketing. क्योंकि इससे पहले क्या है, drug क्लिनिकल ट्रायल वगैरह हुए, थोड़ी बेसिक ट्रायल्स हुए, एंड दे जस्ट after the preclinical trial it is there in the market. So जैसे जैसे there is a change in the laws is there. So as the time passes, there is a change in the law, have seen, and the law becomes more strict day by day. Now, different types of drug applications that can be submitted to FDA. Okay, so what type of applications are there which can be submitted to the FDA? First one is the IND, that is investigational new drug application. This has to be submitted in the FDA when you are working in the new product. Then NDA is there, that is new drug application. Then ANDA is there, which is known as the abbreviated new drug application. Then BLA is there. BLA is uncommon type, that is the biologic license application. Okay, so all these four types of different drug applications are there that has to be submitted to FDA for the new product approval. Now, the Food and Drug Administration is responsible for the protecting and promoting public health. FDA's new drug approval process is also accomplished in two phases. Okay, so if we talk about the FDA new drug application, so it has two phases as we have discussed earlier. One is the clinical trial phase, and another is the new drug application, that is NDA approval. Okay, after that, the FDA approval process begins only after the submission of investigational new drug application. So, FDA approval process begins only after the submission of investigational new drug application. So, first you need to submit the INDA, then you need to go for the NDA. Now, the IND application should provide the high quality preclinical data to justify the testing of the drug in humans. Almost 85% of drugs are subjected to the clinical trial for which IND applications are filed. Okay, so that is basically first we need to submit the IND. If the IND is correct, then they will get the approval for the clinical trial. Yeah. Now here you can see the preclinical phase is there and clinical phase is there. Here you can see this is the preclinical phase, this is the clinical phase. These are the subjects, purpose, time course, and new drug passes is given. Okay, so here you can see that in preclinical phase the laboratory and animal studies are done. Okay, and if it passes the access, it gives the access, safety, and biological activity, and it will take the 1 to 2 year, and 100% new drug passes to that, because we have we can say we have just make the drug on the basis of previous data or the history. So on the basis of structure, so 100% drug passes in the preclinical phase mostly. Then on the basis of these preclinical data, okay, we have we need to file for the IND, and after the submission or after the approval of the IND, then we can conduct the clinical trial. Okay, so after IND submission, after IND approval, phase 1 is there. In phase 1 of clinical trial, we can take the 20 to 100 volunteers. Okay, there is no patient, there are general normal human beings. Okay, now safety and doses are checked. The purpose of checking the safety and doses of that drug, the 3 to 4 year is the minimum time for this phase 1, and then 70% of drugs are passed in phase 1. Okay, now next is the after the after the successful completion of phase 1, we'll go for the phase 2. In phase 2, 100 to 300 patients are taken, and in this we have to check the effectiveness and side effect. For example, if you are making any medicine for the fever, here in phase 1 we just have checked that it reduces the body temperature or not. Okay, but in the actual patients we are facing the patients, we are giving the formulation to the actual patients which are having the fever, and so that we can easily know that how effective our drug is. So to check the effectiveness as well as side effect of the drug, we performs the clinical trial phase 2. Okay, and it will also take it is also take the 4 to 5 years to uh, conduct this phase 2 clinical trial. And here you can see only 33% of drugs which are passed in the phase 2. Okay, so here you can see preclinical तो 100% ने pass कर लिया, phase 1 में 70% are passed, but when we exposed it to the actual patients, only the 33% of INDs are effective, found effective. Now in phase 3, the 1,000 and 3,000 patients are exposed, and it is the main purpose is very effectiveness and long term side effects. Okay, we'll check the verifying the effectiveness as well as we'll check the long term side effects for this. Okay, and it is also take the 6 to 8 years for the for complete this phase, and only the 27% of drugs are drugs or drug products passes this test. Okay, so and after the completion of this phase 3, we'll file for the NDA, and when the NDA is approved, then we can market our drug and we can do the phase 4 study. Okay, so here you can see that in preclinical trial 100% drugs are passed, whereas after the phase 3 only 27% of drugs are found effective for the marketing. So you can see here a huge difference, and it will take around 2 years here, 4 6 years okay, and then 5 years. Okay, 6 and 5 11, and 11 and 8 19. So approx it will take approx 90 to 20 years to come to the drug into the market when conducted the clinical trial properly. Okay, but this is for the normal drugs. If there is any pandemic, there is any emergency drugs, so we can speed up the clinical trial. For this the different guidelines are there, as you see that in case of corona vaccine, in the vaccine comes in 6 or 8 months, or within a year vaccine aa gayi. So clinical trial to हुए, but in case the forced clinical trials or the clinical trials का different guidelines are there for the emergency use and for the pandemic. Okay, so normally it will take around 20 years to come to drug to the market. A new drug application NDA can be filed only when the drug successfully passes all three phases of clinical trials and includes all animal and human data, data analysis, pharmacokinetics of drug and its manufacturing, and proposed labeling. The preclinical and clinical reports and risk benefit analysis are reviewed at the Center for the Drug Evaluation and research by a team of scientists. Generally, approval of an NDA is granted within 2 years on an average. However, this process can be completed from 2 months to several years. Okay, so it can, for the preclinical, clinical, and for the approval phases, it can take the NDA approval phase can take also 2 years, upon an average 2 years. That is because they are, they need to review each and every step, they need to review each and every document. Okay, then they need to give the approval. So however, this process can be completed from 2 months to the several years. So in case of pandemic, in case of any emergency, it may take 2 months, otherwise several years. The innovating company is allowed to market the drug after the approval of an NDA and is considered to be in phase 4 trials. Okay. In this phase, new areas, uses, or new populations, long-term effects, and how participants respond to different doses are explored. Okay, so we have discussed that in this after the approval of NDA, there is phase 4, and in phase 4 the drug is phase 4 clinical studies that in which the drug is come to the market. Okay, so this is the thing that if the drug is come to the market, then this means it is exposed to the new areas for the new users, new populations are there which is not there in which may not be there in the clinical trial. Similarly, long term effects we can see in the phase 4. Now NDA chart. So here you can see the chart of NDA is given, and we have already discussed about this chart. So first one is applicant. Okay, drug applicant is drug sponsor, which is the sponsor which is preparing the medication or comes under the NDA. Then after that the NDA file, they file the NDA, applicant file the NDA, and application fillable is either yes or no. If no, then refuse to file letter issued. Okay, and if yes, it is reviewed by the CDER. Okay, so if if the properly not it is not properly filled, then it is refused. Submission may it will refuse, and if it is properly filed, then it is reviewed by the CDER team. Then in this CDER, they will send the dossier report or send the report of document जो application आपने file किया उसको different experts को they will send. Okay, so expert on the basis of if the expert related to the medical field, they have to send all the related data to the medical field, pharmacology data to the pharmacology department, medical chemistry data to the chemistry department, biopharm, statistical and microbiological. So all data experts are given the work to review that part of the application. Okay, so after the review of the this complete review of this application, there is a advisory committee meeting is there, and it meetings and it also meets with the sponsor, and they will after the discussion they will review complete and acceptable, either it is complete or acceptable or not. If no, then additional information or revision requested for the submission. ठीक है, amendment के लिए इसको भेजा जाएगा. If it is not complete, then it is written information जाती है that you need to add some information into it, you need to revise it properly. And if it is yes, then inspection of site acceptable. Okay, and other than that, if labeling and reviews are proper, and if no labeling and reviews are not proper, then again it is sent to the sponsor for the revision. And if all these things are yes, that is the inspection of site acceptable is also yes, and labeling acceptable is yes. If labeling acceptable is no, sent to the sponsor for revision. If inspection of site acceptable are no, so pending satisfactory results लिख के इसको send किया जाता है sponsor को. Okay, and if both are yes, then NDA take action, and NDA may give the approval for the marketing of that particular drug. Okay, so labeling review acceptable is basically labeling in this context means official instructions for use. Okay, so क्या क्या use के लिए information है, it should be clearly mentioned in the label. So if it is not mentioned, so you need to revise it as a sponsor. Okay, and inspection of site acceptability means manufacturing sites and site where the significant clinical trials are performed. So you have to give the complete detail related to that site also. Okay, so here this is a complete chart of NDA approval process. Now for the ANDA, यानी कि abbreviated new drug application, there is again the application has to be sent ANDA application has to be sent and acceptable and complete. If it is complete, then it is acceptable, and if not complete, then letter is issued to the department that it is a sponsor, that it is not complete. And if it is complete, yes, then review by the CDR or OGD. Okay, this this has to be sent. Then this again it will send to the different applications, sent to the different department, like bioequivalence, request for plant inspection, labeling review, chemistry and micro reviews all are sent. Then bioequivalence review acceptable, chemistry, micro as well as labeling review acceptables are given. Okay, if bioequivalence review are acceptable, not acceptable, then bioequivalence deficiency letter is given. तो बायोइक्वेलेंस उनको स्टडी करके देनी होगी. इफ केमिस्ट्री एंड माइक्रो और लेबलिंग requirement is not proper, then not approval letter is given. Okay, so if both are yes, that is the you know chemistry micro labeling review acceptable and the bioequivalence review are acceptable, so both are yes, then pre-approval inspection letter is sent to the department, and then it will give to the ANDA for the approval, and approval defend pending satisfactory letter is given. अगर pre-approval inspection नहीं हुआ है, if inspection is done, then ANDA approval is given. Now again, this is a very important thing. Now you will came to know about the ANDA as well NDA. So what is the differences between these two? So NDA is new drug application, ANDA is abbreviated new drug application. Okay. Now ANDA is applicable for all the new drugs. Okay, so all the new drugs, if any new drug is there, so ANDA is approved. ANDA is only applicable for the generic drug, not for all the new drugs. NDA money requirement is high. If you are filing for a new drug, so the money requirement is high in case of NDA, as well as in case of ANDA, the less money compared to the NDA is required. Okay. Similarly, in the NDA, 12 to 15 year required for the approval because it is a new product. ANDA because it is a generic product, that is already product बना हुआ है, but आप उसकी copy या उस तरीके का product बना रहे हैं, so that is you will get only 1 to 2 years for the approval of ANDA. After that, in NDA, cost of drug is high, as well as ANDA cost of drug is low because it is already existing drug. In case of this NDA, non-clinical and clinical studies are essential, whereas in ANDA, the bioequivalence and bioavailability studies are only essential. Okay, so here you can see that is the difference between these two are given clearly. Now the NDA requirements and ANDA requirements are given. In NDA, almost the things are same, but basic differences are there. Like in NDA, labeling is there, pharmacological toxicity study is there, chemistry is there, manufacturing study is there, controls is there, microbiology is there, inspection, testing, animal studies, clinical studies, and bioavailability studies are required. Okay. In ANDA, the labeling, pharmacology and toxicology study is required, chemistry is required, manufacturing is required, controls are required, microbiology study is required, and inspection and testing is required. Okay, so here you can see in ANDA, all the studies are required similar to the NDA, but in NDA, along with the ANDA study, in NDA, the clinical studies are also required, like preclinical, clinical, as well as bioavailability studies are required in the NDA. So these are the references. You can check out the related references in the net also. You can visit all the sites of that particular website of that particular country. You can also search related to the new drug application process for detailed information. So you can also visit my previous videos for the introduction related to the regulatory affair and the guidelines which are there in the different countries. I have already explained the whole detailed guideline related to the different countries in my previous videos, so you can watch them. Okay, so thanks for watching.